Alright, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and continue from here. The next day, as we assemble at the scramble, Kamiya announces to everyone with a smile on his face.
それじゃあ今日は食べ物を集めよっか。
I was convinced that he would start giving me the third degree and prepared myself, but instead he shows no sign of even waiting to question me. He's completely dropped it. What is he thinking? I can't tell, just looking at his expression.
賛成。最近同じものばっかだし、そろそろ食にこだわっていきたいよな。
それは町浩二君だけでしょう。あなた以外はみんな神谷君が考案したメニューでバランスの良い食事をとってます。
おい、母親みたいなこと言うなよ。別に好き嫌いあったっていいだろ。
そんな子供みたいなこと言ってないで、ちゃんと神谷君のメニューに従ってください。
高校生はギリ子供です。
都合のいい時だけ子供になるの、ほんとみっともないからやめてください。
Marizumi sends a sharp glance of scorn down Machikoji's way.
また近くのスーパーやコンビニを回るの？
いや、今日はちょっと遠くまで行きたいな。近場のものはいざという時にある程度は取っておきたいし、遠くの品揃えも気になるしね。
Rather than joining in the conversation and possibly messing up, it'd be better to stay quiet and watch Kamiya's reaction.
おいおい。
Lo grumbles, dissatisfied.
そんなのんきなことしてる場合か？桜井が戻ってきた途端空気を緩めやがって。人殺しがいいんだぞ。こいつをどうするか今日はその話し合いをすべきだろう。
いや、桜井は何もしてない。昨日の話は本当だ。もう何も彼に聞くことなんかないよ。
神谷、なんだお前。そもそも桜井を疑ってたのは神谷もだったよな。
あの時はみんな疑心暗鬼だったし、例の犯人についてみんなが探っていたようだったから。
Did he actually look at the evidence?
あそこで否定して桜井を守るのは集団を分割させることにつながった。
綺麗事言うなよ。桜井をのけ者にしたのはお前だろうが。
あの場は桜井を疑うしかなかった。でもその後に彼のアリバイについて一緒に調べようと思っていたんだ。ま、彼と桃野が逃避行してしまったからそれはできなかったんだけど。
お前のそういう建前気持ち悪い。俺はホテルにいる。仲良し小良しのおままごとはお前らだけでやってろよ。
Lo glances at everyone and leaves, and Kamiya claps his hands.
それじゃあ気を取り直して食べ物探しに行こう。
I ruminate over Kamiya's earlier statements. He had no choice but to doubt me, otherwise the group would have broken up. No, I don't know. I'm pretty agreeing with this, that he's been kind of strange ever since the beginning. And it's kind of culminating as we go along, where it's just getting a little bit weirder. Now that I think about it, that might have been true. Togoku and Kageyama disappeared, and we couldn't find them no matter how much we looked. Everyone was exhausted, their thoughts started to veer towards the idea that maybe someone was hiding something. And from there, Lo's insinuations trained their sights onto me. I had no concrete evidence to prove my innocence. Even if Kamiya had jumped in and to try and clear their doubts, he probably couldn't have stopped them anyway. With Kamiya suspecting me, everyone began to think maybe Sakurai really is the culprit. Then if he could find a more definitive argument or evidence showing otherwise, then everyone's doubts towards me would be cleared. I understand now that perhaps that was actually what Kamiya was aiming for. Sounds like the sort of plan he'd come up with. He actually did intend on looking after me. But is that really the case? It's not as if he absolutely had to direct their suspicions towards me. wouldn't it have been better for him to postpone the issue for us to look for evidence to prove my innocence instead? That night, I went to Machikoji's room and asked. He knits his brow and asks, seemingly irked at the question.
何かないか。
ないよ。というか、もしかして桜井、神谷を疑ってるのか？
疑うっていうか。
But I definitely don't trust him.
犯人だってそう思ってるんじゃないのか？俺はもう勘弁してほしい。誰も疑いたくないんだよ。象の口車に乗って一度はお前を疑った俺にこんなこと言う資格はないかもしれないが、俺たち幼馴染じゃないか。もう誰もいなくなってほしくないんだよ。
そうか。
I had a feeling that Machikoji would say something like that. He trusts all of us. He probably doesn't want to actively pursue the culprit.
わかった。ありがとな。
ああ。
I take one more glance at him as I leave. He looks somewhat listless. It's only then that I realized just how worried he was while I was gone. But that's okay, we'll ignore that and just keep going. Oh, back to the dark hallway. If Machikoji's out of the question, then there's only one person left. She's practically sworn her absolute allegiance to Kamiya after all. But I'm rather reluctant to ask her. Honestly, it'd probably be better not to at all. Hello?
なんだよ、諸角か。びっくりした。
町浩二君と何を話してたんですか？
Her expression intensifies as she asked me.
いや、食べ物の話だよ。
You know how he likes
あい
food.
つ好き嫌いが激しいって言ってたから。何かあいつの好きなもので栄養バランス取れないかなって。
嘘つき。
Morizumi's cold words pierce right through me, her eyes filled with doubt. A chill runs down my spine and my hairs stand on end. It suddenly feels like the air around me suddenly drops a couple of degrees.
神谷君のこと話していたんですよね。
I haven't even talked about him with Morizumi. And judging by our conversation earlier, I very much doubt Nikaido would have talked with her either. Which means perhaps she overheard us? She could have been able to hear a portion of the conversation if she placed her ear to the door.
桜井君、神谷君のこと詮索しようとしてますよね。
別にしてない。
どうして嘘をつくんですか？後ろめたいことでもあるんですか？
なんだよ。別に何もないよ。
I was kind of wondering about this because she's kind of his right-hand man or woman, you know, so to speak. I kind of figured she wouldn't turn so easily on him. Morizumi just stares me down without saying a word. Her sudden silence is intimidating.
もう部屋に戻るから。
神谷君のことを一番知ってるのは。
She parts with those words as she turns around and walks away, eventually fading into the darkness. Maybe it's because I ended up dealing with something so tense just before going to bed. I had a strange dream. Oh boy. Now we gotta think about all these gray memories we had, like the time we caught the car on fire, and I think that's me up there, and the time that she tried to use a drill on the wall. Those were great times, weren't they? Photographs of some sort were floating in the air. After looking at them more carefully, they seemed to be my own memories.
ねえ、桜井くん。
Suddenly Togoku was right in front of me.
ずいぶん君の頭の中はごちゃごちゃみたいだね。
そうか。僕は普段から割と冷静な方だと思うけど。
Togoku takes one of the photographs floating around. On it seems to be displayed some words. Though I squint to try and get a better look, it's just those words that can't come into focus. I can't read them.
それは冷静ぶってるだけじゃないのかな。現に君の頭の中はこんなにもごちゃついている。
冷静ぶってる？
人は皆役者、演じてるんだよ。
確かにそうも言うけど。でも生まれ持った性格っていうのがあるだろう。
生まれ持った性格ねえ。
Togoku tosses the photograph she was holding at me.
僕は性格なんてものを信じてはいないんだ。多分人間にあるパラメータは影響されやすさくらいだよ。君が自分と思っているその性格も意識処理しきれない多くの環境変数で決まっているんだ。
お前の話はいちいち言葉が難しい。
She chuckles in response.
つまりは自分が自分と思っているそれは自分ではないってこと。
もっとよくわからなくなった。
もうしょうがないな。
With that, she takes yet another photograph. That's me, and throws it my way. On the photograph is that giant mirror.
鏡の壁だよ。
忌々しい壁だな。お前とドライブして事故に遭ったのは、この鏡の壁のせいだ。
ほら、鏡越しなら見えるでしょ。
Some sort of strange writing appears on the photograph floating before me. I can somehow read the word through the mirror inside the photograph. The word unforgivable. The word strikes me.
これも君の記憶。
My memories? What is this?
他にもいろいろあるよ。よく見てごらん。もう時間だね。
僕の目が覚めるのか。
My consciousness slowly comes to the surface. Things grow hazy.
正解。
夢落ちと分かってる夢も、そこそこ楽しめるものだな。
僕が出てきたからかな。
She chuckles to herself.
じゃあ最後に。鏡の壁を最初に見つけたのって誰だっけ。
Is that Kamiya? I don't remember, actually. Why is it that right when you wake up from your dream, you forget everything that happened? If I remember right, Chogoku showed up or something. Dang it, I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I think she said something. Something really important.
ダメだ。思い出せない。
More importantly, Kamiya, he's acting weird. If I ask him about it directly, he'll probably just deflect the issue. Taking the roundabout approach will just cause Morozumi to threaten me too. My body shudders out of reflex. Just remembering the encounter with her last night gets me sweating already. Alright, what now? I've already asked Machikoji. Morozumi's got her sights trained on me, so I can't act recklessly. Asking Kamiya directly isn't going to get me anywhere. Lowe's pretty much declared all-out war on me. My eyes stop on the notebook that lay atop the table. It's the notebook that was in the Togoku family safe. Togoku wrote all her observations since coming to this world on this notebook. I grab it, flipping through its pages. The Balashika incident, the Bermuda Triangle, Agatha Christie's 11 missing days. The Kinloss incident, the Mary Celeste disappearance of entire families in Japan. Explanations about the Chronos world are detailed. I'd already skimmed through it, but going through it again I realized just how much information I'd missed. I probably skipped a lot of stuff thinking it would be too complicated for me to understand.
あれ、
one particular tidbit of information catches my attention. It's a memo of the locations where people woke up. Tokoku woke up in a fancy item store, Yu in Spain's Zaka Slope, Nikaido at the roof of a building, Marizumi in Tokyo Hands, Kageyama in a bookstore, Machikoji in Central District, and then me in a building under construction. Finally, Kamiya woke up in front of the 109 building. Below that is a question mark, and a note saying, "So how did he see the mirror wall?" The mirror wall. The first one to mention its existence was Kamiya.
いや、それっておかしくないか?
Yeah, because the 109 building is basically where we've been meeting, right in the middle of this area. The mirror wall encircles Shibuya, with the station right at the center. He woke up in front of the 109 building. He'd have to go to the outskirts of Shibuya for him to actually see the mirror wall. But he met up with Morozumi and Kageyama, and went to the scramble. For that to have happened, he had to have woken up at the 109, went to the wall, then went back to the center of Shibuya. I suppose that's possible, but wouldn't he just go to the station from the get-go? It feels like I've stumbled upon a big clue here. This isn't the real Kageyama. Upon arriving at the scramble, I see everyone but Lo is already assembled. For just a brief instant, Morozumi and I exchange looks, but I quickly look away.
じゃあ今日は
Or, not Kageyama, sorry, Kamiya. I get their names mixed up somewhat.
畑?
スーパーやコンビニの食べ物にも限界があるからね。やがては自給自足しないと。
Nikaido was speechless. She's probably thinking if she starts questioning Kamiya about a sudden proposal, the mood will just sour and we won't be able to get anything done. We split into two groups, me and Nikaido, and Kamiya, Morozumi, and Machikoji. The others are off to gather flower pots. Nikaido and I head to Tokyo Hands, and some other places to look for seeds. Lo refused to join us, instead staying at the hotel.
それじゃ、よろしく。
As we're about to head off on our separate ways, I approach Morozumi. There's a question I just absolutely have to ask her. I go up close and ask her in a whisper.
ねえ、この世界に来た時、神谷とはどこで出会った?
Her answer to this question is crucial. Morozumi woke up at Tokyo Hands, Kageyama at a bookstore. If they headed towards the station from there, then they would have bumped into Kamiya on their way to the station. Actually, where is the 109 building? Thought it was around here. That's like the big, thing at the Tokyo Scramble, or at least, I don't think it's called the 109 building in, actual Tokyo. I think it's called something else or something. But it's like a really big building that's got, numbers on the top of it. Yeah, there it is. Right up there. So it's not quite where we're at, but it's pretty close. If they headed towards the station from there, then they would have bumped into Kamiya on their way to the station. If they met with him elsewhere, at a place near the mirror wall, then Kamiya's backstory wouldn't sound out of place. But if they actually did meet up with him at the 109, then that means he never actually left its vicinity. Which means he never actually got to see the mirror wall. But if that's the case, then how could he have known about the mirror wall?
どうしてですか?
理由は聞かないでくれ。どうしても必要な情報なんだ。
She stares right back at me. Morozumi knows that I'm trying to dig up dirt on Kamiya. I might as well just be upfront about it. Now that Kageyama's disappeared, the only other person who I can ask this information from is Morozumi.
それなら答えられません。
She leaves me with that answer and runs back to Kamiya. She refuses to answer. Had she known my intentions, she probably would have lied. It looks like prying any information about Kamiya from her will be very, very difficult indeed.
つまり神谷君が109で目覚めたのに鏡の壁のことを知っているのがおかしいってこと。
そうだ。
Nikaido and I are conversing at a back alley in secret to make sure the others don't overhear us.
そんなの諸角さんが神谷君と出会ったのが109だったとしても109で目覚めてから鏡の壁を見に行ってまた109に戻ってきたかもしれないじゃない。
もしそうならそこまでの時間はなかったと思うんだ。東国のノートによると僕らが目覚めたのはほぼ同時刻。僕が目覚めてから神谷と出会うまでの時間は15分ほどだったと思う。どんなに長く見積もっても30分だ。
30分だとしても109から壁を見に行ってまた戻ってくるなんてできないわね。
でも諸角にアプローチしてみたがダメだった。あとは本人に聞くしかないがうまくかわすだろう。
Is this a stalemate? I'm not too sure about going up against Kamiya with just this much information. I need to gather more.
あと私からも伝えるべきことがあるの。
え？
桃野さんのカメラが別の場所にもう一台あったの。
That might be helpful.
それって
桃野さんがあんなことになったのに気を悪くしたらごめんなさい。でも彼女ならあなたを監視するために別の場所にもカメラを仕掛けるはずだと思って。
It was in your bathroom. Honestly, it doesn't feel right to bring up you again. I try to keep my mind from recalling the scene of you falling from the rooftop. However, Nikaido did her best to investigate, just so we can break out of this situation. There's no way I could ever tell Nikaido off for this.
大丈夫だよ。それに今の僕は夕絡みでは役立たずだから。調べてくれてありがとう。でも僕の部屋以外にどこに？
In this alleyway, Nikaido's expression tells me to just see it for myself as she takes out a small black object from her pocket. It's probably the camera that you planted.
重要なものが映っていたわ。
I gulp at Nikaido's instruction. She hands me the camera, the recorded video already playing back. In the hallway. Outside my room, I guess. It's the hotel corridor. I continue to watch the footage and people appear. It's Kamiya who's calling Kageyama over.
神谷と影山？
これは影山くんがいなくなる直前の映像よ。
え、それって？
In the case of Kogoku and Kageyama's disappearances, I was the last person to be with both of them. You know, now that I think about it, the fact that their doors were left open, like ajar, would probably be indicative of the fact that they came out with the intention of going back in. You know, like they didn't leave with the intention of, like, going somewhere. They were just coming out to talk to somebody, basically. That would be my idea, anyway. That's why I was suspected to be the culprit. If it's discovered that the last one to be with Kageyama wasn't me, but Kamiya, then that would mean that suspicions towards me would clear. They'd instead be directed towards Kamiya, and also show that his testimony was a lie.
これだけ決定的な証拠があれば彼も言い逃れはできないでしょう。
それなら今日神谷に聞いてみようか。
Strike while the iron's hot. If we take our time with this, Morizumi might get in the way. She might get in the way even still. The way I see it, now that we've got definitive evidence like this, we should confront him as soon as we can.
そうね。私もいるし大丈夫でしょう。
It's reassuring to have Nikaido on the same side in this fight. Nikaido and I arrive at the door of Kamiya's room. I take a deep breath and knock on his door. Where are we at time-wise? We're at about an hour. Though to be honest, I'm kind of interested. Let's keep going and see.
神谷、僕だ。入っていいか？
大丈夫だよ。どうぞ。
Oh, it's the whole crew. Upon opening the door, it's not just Kamiya, but Morozumi and Lo are inside as well. It's just me and Nikaido against 3 of them. I stop in my tracks, realizing that we're at a disadvantage here.
さあ、入って。
But we've already come this far. He goads us to enter. There's a lot of people for a little bedroom. Morozumi is staring us down. She's probably already informed Kamiya about what we talked about earlier.
神谷、少し時間いいか？話したいことがあって。
どうしたの？もちろん何でも話してよ。2人が一緒でもいいかな。
あ、
勝手に話せよ。俺は見てるだけだ。
単刀直入に言うわ。神谷君、この世界について私たちが知らない情報を持っているでしょう。
知ってるとは？
鏡の壁は何なのか。
何も知らないよ。状況は君たちと一緒だ。
神谷、一つ確認したいことがあるんだが。
何？
目覚めた後、諸角と影山とどこで合流したんだ？
I'm going to expose Kamiya's mistake with this question. He shouldn't have had any time to go to the mirror wall.
ファンシーショップを過ぎたあたりだったかな。俺が鏡の壁を見に行った後くらいだったから。
He manages to beat me to the punch before I manage to wring it out of him. I'm sweating. I've already lost the initiative to confront him.
そっか。
それがどうかしたの？
あ、いや、なんでもないんだ。
なんだよ。怖いな。
He's got the scary eyes. Still, that question was just an opener. This is where things really start.
それじゃあ別の質問なんだけど、ちょっとこれ見てくれる？
Nikaido takes out the video camera from her pocket and plays the video saved inside. It's the footage showing Kamiya and Kageyama.
この後、影山くんがいなくなったのよね。
Looking at Kamiya, his confidence immediately vanishes.
影山くんがいなくなる前、最後に会ったのは桜井くんだという話になっていた。それを言い出したのはあなたよ。それで桜井くんは疑われることになった。でもこの映像がある。あなた分かっていて桜井くんを貶めたのね。
いや、そうじゃない。
それならどういうこと？
確かに俺は影山と話をした。最後に会ったのは俺だ。嘘をついたのは桜井を貶めるためじゃない。理由は言えないが、そうなんだ。
ちゃんと理由を話して。
言えない。
自分の立場分かってるのかしら。いい？今あなたが犯人じゃないかって疑われてるのよ。あなたはみんなをコントロールできる立場にいた。誰かを消すのだって自由自在でしょ。
そうじゃないよ。
だから私たちが納得いくような説明をして。
Still, Kamiya maintains his expression.
どうしても言えないんだよ。
だからそんなこと言える立場じゃないでしょ。ちゃんと話して。
その時が来たらちゃんと話す。今ここで話すことはみんなにとってマイナスにしかならないんだ。
それはみんなが判断すること。あなたが勝手に判断できることじゃない。
Time passes in utter silence.
おい神谷、お前政治家の子供なんだから多数決で決めればいいじゃねえか。ミーで決めようぜ、ミーで。
ふざけるな。そんなの僕たち二人が不利に決まってるだろ。
The moment we agree to this, it's our loss. We can't just go along with Lowe's plan. And besides, I doubt even Kamiya would agree to his ridiculous proposal.
分かった。俺が説明をするかしないかで多数決。
Kamiya, please. Kamiya agrees to the unthinkable.
そんなのおかしいわ。ちゃんとみんなが納得いくように説明するのはあなたの義務よ。
そうじゃない。話すことにリスクが伴う。話した後で話さない方が良かったとなる可能性だってあるんだ。だから多数決。
神谷、往生際が悪いぞ。
何とでも言ってくれ。それじゃあ多数決取るよ。俺に全部を喋ってほしい人。
おい、おかしいだろ。やめろ。多数決なんて認めない。
そもそもそっちは結託してるでしょ。町工事君を呼びましょう。
今だ。今決めるんだよ。町工事に話すかまた後で決めればいい。
Yeah, I don't know. This sounds pretty illegal to me, but maybe this is what you get from being a politician, son.
そんなの卑怯よ。
ほら、手を挙げなよ。俺に全部を喋っ
Is
てほしい。
Morozumi over here gonna agree with us on this? I look at Nikaido. I thought to back out at first, but I'm surprised at the determination in Nikaido's eyes. Looks like she's up for the vote.
おい、二階堂。やめろ。こんなのに乗る必要はない。
諸角さん。
Nikaido stares right into Morozumi.
あなたも本当のところは聞かされてないわよね。神谷君の口ぶりならきっと他の誰も知らない。彼しか知らないの。ここで神谷君に勝たせてしまえば彼に都合が悪いことは全部隠せることになってしまう。それを崩せるのは今だけなの。
By appealing to her honesty, or honestly, Nikaido hopes to coax Morozumi into joining our side. As faithful as she is to Kamiya, Morozumi still does hate anything that's objectively wrong. With Nikaido, she might actually be able to convince Morozumi to support us.
頼む、諸角。
She looks bewildered. It looks like even she's having doubts about blindly following Kamiya. This is our chance. We need to try and convince her.
私は神谷君の味方です。
However, she stubbornly refuses to budge. Morozumi is just blindly devoted to Kamiya. It's like a cult. Looks like she doesn't plan on changing her mind. I give up on convincing Morozumi. Despite that, Nikaido doesn't.
真実が曲げられていいの？
No, my sense of justice. It looks like Morozumi's really struggling with what Nikaido just said. Though it seems like Morozumi is just acting strangely. She's probably agonizing over the decision. Another chance to convince Morozumi.
諸角。
神谷に全部を喋ってほしくない人。
Unsurprisingly, Lo jumps in to block me. He probably thought that we might actually persuade Morozumi. Kamiya raises his hand, along with Lo.
ロ、お前。
うるせえよ。さお人形ちゃん、さっさとしろよ。
Lo sneers at Morozumi, egging her on. Kamiya remains quiet, simply watching.
神谷君。
She looks at Kamiya, frightened. Kamiya looks back at her kindly, seemingly in resignation. Then, apprehensively, Morozumi does not raise her hand.
そっか。
I thought that Kamiya would be outraged. Instead,
諸角がそう思うならそれが正しいよ。
神谷君。
Morozumi looks at Kamiya, practically on the verge of tears. Nikaido and I are speechless at this sudden turn of events. However, the silence is quickly dispelled.
私。
Oh, she's got the crazy eyes. Morozumi's behavior takes a sudden turn. Her face is pale, her eyes are out of focus.
私なんてこと。
Oh no.
ごめん
Did she discover something too?
ごめんなさいごめんなさい
It's like,
ご
well,
めんなさい
whenever, like, something drastic happens to one of these characters, they suddenly realize the truth.
諸角、どうしたんだ
Don't you dare jump off the roof.
諸角さん
Oh. What? What? Okay. Uh,
何が起きたんだ
well, that was weird. Maybe that's part of the whole disappearing thing. I think what it is when the people realize the truth, like they're disappearing or something? Maybe? It doesn't really explain everything, but these last two ones kind of make a little more sense that way. Alright, well, I think that's a good spot. We're going to stop there, leave us on a little bit of a cliffhanger to Morizumi just turning into shards of glass or something. They have cool shadows when you move your head. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, though. Should be able to do these more, frequently, kind of like I was before now. Just, took a little while to get the VR set up. It's not exactly the mandatory thing to get set up first when you move. And like I mentioned before, I'm currently, in some of the other videos, I'm currently in someone else's house for the time being. It's kind of complicated, but this is like a temporary thing for now. And as a result, I do have a room for VR. However, it's got furniture in it, like dressers and some small sofas and stuff like that. So don't have a lot of room. Doesn't really matter much for this VR game, but any future potential VR games may be a little bit trickier to implement. I know Steam does allow like a sitting mode where you can just like be in one spot, or a room scale where you have a whole room. Can't really do room scale that much. I can move a little bit, but definitely not enough for any real VR stuff. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have a body. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Next time, I guess we'll find out what happened to Morizumi, maybe. See you guys later. Bye.